Hi guys, so this is going to be the second video on remote desktop, and in this video I will explain some terms which I will use in my further practical videos. So let's start. So we have two types of IPs, one is static IP and other is dynamic IP. So first we will see what is static IP. So static IP is a permanent IP which is assigned by your ISP. It will never be changed even your router reboots. Let's consider this scenario. Consider this modem and this DHCP server. The modem will connect to DHCP server and server will assign IP to modem, which is this. Let's suppose that modem reboots due to power failure. After reboots, the modem will again connect to DHCP server and server will again assign IP to modem, which is this. So you have seen that IP remain unchanged as it is a static IP. So our main goal is to access our PC using dynamic IP. So what is dynamic IP? So a dynamic IP is an IP which is temporarily assigned by your ISP. It changes every time your router reboots or when your lease time expires. So what is a lease time? Lease time indicates how long a device is allowed to use that particular IP address. So let's consider this scenario. Consider this modem and this DHCP server. The modem will request an IP from the server and server will assign an IP to modem, which is this. Let's suppose that modem reboots due to power failure. After reboot, the modem will again request an IP from the DHCP server and server will assign new IP to modem, which is this. So you have seen that the IP changes as it is a dynamic IP. So every time your lease time expires or your router reboot, the IP change in case of dynamic IP. Now the next topic is port forwarding. What is port? So basically it is the location where the information is sent. Like I give you an example of remote desktop. If the port 3389 is open in your modem's firewall, then a particular PC in that particular network can be accessed outside of that network. So what is now port forwarding? So basically port forwarding enables an external network to connect with an internal network. Sometimes it is known as port mapping. So this is the concept of port forwarding. Here is the chart for well-known ports, like for example we use port 80 for HTTP, port 21 for FTP. Now consider this scenario for port forwarding. Consider this PCA and PCB and this modem with this firewall. Now PCA will try to access PCB remotely. As port 3389 is open in the modem firewall, the connection will be established between these two PCs. Now consider again this scenario for port forwarding. Consider these two PCs, PCA and PCB, and this modem with this firewall. Now PCA again tries to access PCB remotely. As the port 3389 is not open in the firewall, so the connection between these two PCs will not establish. Now the next term is dynamic DNS. What is DNS? DNS stands for domain name system. So for humans it is very easy to remember name instead of IPs. For this we use this DNS system. DNS system basically convert that host name to particular IP address. In case of dynamic DNS, it allow you to map your dynamic IP addresses to a static host name. For example, I will give you a scenario. Consider this an IP address. It is assigned to a modem and it is mapped to a static host name which is abc.com. Now let's suppose that modem reboots. After reboot, the IP changes as it is dynamic IP address and it is again mapped to that particular host name abc.com. So whenever the modem reboots, the IP changes but the host name remains unchanged. Host name remains same. So for this we use softwares like Dynu client. It is given by dynu.net. Basically that particular software look for the IP update. When your IP update, it again map your current IP to that static host name. We will see this whole scenario in upcoming video. Now the next topic is NAT. NAT stands for Network Address Translation. We use NAT because of shortage of IP addresses. So as we know that we are using currently IPv4 address, which is a 32-bit address, and around there are 4.2 billion IP addresses, and the total world population is 7.8 billion according to 2020. So for 7.8 billion, 4.2 billion IPs are not sufficient. So for this we use NAT. NAT basically convert public IP to private IP and private IP to public IP. Now to understand how this NAT works, let's consider this scenario. Consider this PCA connected to router, and the router is connected with internet, and internet on the other end there is a web server. So let's say that PCA needs weather report. So what will happen? PCA will send a packet to the router, and in the router there is a table which is known as NAT forwarding table. It is basically used to keep track of requests from the private IP addresses. So whenever the request is made from the private IP address to the it is converted to public IP address. So now the packet has this info, like it is converted from private to public address, and it is sent over the network to web server. The web server will process on the query of the PCA, and it will send that particular packet to the router. Now as the packet is received by router, the router will look in the NAT forwarding table that from which device it is requested. So in current scenario there is only one device, but in real world or in normal daily life we have number of devices connected with router, like an Android device is connected, a laptop is connected, a number of PCs are connected. So here the NAT forwarding table allow router to keep track of requests from these devices or from private IP addresses. So now the router will look in the NAT forwarding table from which PC it is requested. So as it is requested from PC A, the router will send this packet to the PCA, and PCA will receive the weather report. So if you have any questions regarding any topic, comment below, like my video and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.